My name is Lucille and I'm part of the Child Protection Committee in New York. Today, political, social, economical, and moral issues are at the center of debates and polemics in our society. But what about the psychological problems? I address to you today as a citizen of the world, as the spokesperson of my own truth, the only truth, and the truth for the good of people. Because this is my definition of patriotism, I want to warn my people about the dangers of this world. I want to show them the reality, and I want to confront them with their own voices. I see a youth becoming sick, little by little and more than ever. I see teenagers on social medias normalizing mental illnesses and suicide. Teenagers feel useless, as if they weren't the masters of their own existence. Teenagers are trapped in a society led by traumatized adults. And adults have condemned children to suffer by minimalizing the importance of mental illnesses and their impact. Being ill makes you cool, different, and unique on social medias. But where does this image of a cool suffering come from? How did suffering become a trend? What is the origin, I'd say the vector, of such a representation? Well, I'll give you my answer. One of the worst problems teenagers have to face today, one of the worst lies, is the good story problem in fiction. Fiction we find in series, movies, and books constitutes a huge part of the cultural life of teenagers and young adults. Your friends, your brothers, your sisters, and yourself watch movies and series on streaming platforms. In all these cinematographic works, it's normal for the spectator to identify himself with the characters and see himself in them. So when you are building yourself as a teenager, it's normal to imitate the characters you love. But that's exactly where the danger begins, because of the romanticization of mental illnesses for the plot. Euphoria, 13 Reasons Why, All the Bright Places, Skins. These are shows watched and rewatched by teenagers all around the world. In each one of these shows, characters have to deal with mental issues because of trauma as a result of sexual assault, rape, harassment, family issues. These traumas have consequences like self-harm, suicide, and so much more. In Skins, Effie is the main character. She is beautiful. All the boys want her because of her tortured beauty. Effie is depressed. Effie doesn't feel good, and Effie has suicidal thoughts. But Effie doesn't care about life or death. Effie is cool. Effie is free.
Bother.
With what?
Caring about people.
Hannah Baker is the main character of a show called 13 Reasons Why. She kills herself after creating a number of tapes which contains the reasons why she decided to die and in which she accuses her surrounding. In this show, Hannah Baker is portrayed as a martyr, as if she was the only one who was moral and pure.
To tell you the story of my life. More specifically, why my life ended. And if you're listening to this tape, you're one of the reasons.
But do we kill ourselves for revenge? Do we kill ourselves to prove people that they were bad, to make them regret? Here, suicide is portrayed as an act of justice and sacrifice, when it's an act of hopelessness. What kind of image of suicide does this kind of show give to children? Do you want your children to identify with these kinds of characters? Do you want your children, your depressed children, to think that they are martyrs, that the only way to live is suffering? If all the teenagers believed in these ideas, then it could be really dangerous for them. I'm gonna tell you something. Suffering from mental illnesses doesn't make you cooler or more loved. It makes you ill. And killing yourself doesn't make you more respected and more wanted. It makes you dead. Because if it was this simple, everybody would know it. I want you to be aware of it. Because the problem of these shows is the idea that you have to live through your mental illness. And even the idea that you are your mental illness. That's not how it should be represented. I want the adults who created these shows to grow up. I need to see teenagers on social medias trying to heal more than normalizing mental illnesses, which give them the feeling that this is the only way to exist and to be seen. I accuse the cinema industry of lying. I blame them for creating these stories. Because creating a good story is never worth the importance of a good representation of mental illnesses and suicides, which are the most important parts of psychological issues. I, as a citizen of the world, don't want to see this abyss anymore. We need this system to change. We need good representation. We, as citizens of the world, don't want to see Effie's, Anna's. We don't want to see this abyss anymore. Because this is the truth.